All right, sixth graders, welcome back. This is a learning target. I can find the surface area of a prism. Remember, we're going to be looking at like rectangular prisms, square prisms, cubes today. So that these first two pictures I drew out are exactly the same picture. This bottom one is a net. So it's basically the top one unfolded. And, if you think of like a cereal box, the top and the bottom, have the same size. The right and the left have the same sides. The front and the back have the same size for this. So mine is not drawn to scale by any means, but I just wanted to show you the top and the bottom. The bottom one is called a net here, and the top one is kind of the figure folded up. And we kind of looked at this right before MCA testing, surface area. It's all the areas of all the surfaces, and you add them together. So we have all rectangles here. So we're going to be figuring out the surface area of all the rectangles, and we're going to add them together. So we're going to figure out the area of the front and the back. Remember, rectangles are base times height. So the sides of that are 12 and 6. Okay, so go ahead and multiply that out, see what you're left with. But there's a front and a back, so we got to multiply it by 2. So we're left with 144. So that's for the front and back. And it's inches, I'm going to fit it in squared. So I'm going to circle them up because I'm going to add up all my circles at the end. So now we kind of have the right and the left. And so again, it's base times height, 6 times 8. And then times it by 2, or it's 96 inches squared. Okay, and then let's see, the top and, skip down here. Basically what we have left then is the top and the bottom. Top and the bottom. So again, those are rectangles, so again it's 12 times 8. And go ahead and multiply that out and times 2 also. Another thing, guys, for surface area of the rectangles, you can see which ones you haven't multiplied together. Like, see how I multiplied the 12 and the 6 together, the 6 and the 8 together, the 12 and the 8. You have to multiply all of them together. So if you see the 12 and the 6 and the 6 and the 8, you can see, okay, which two I haven't paired up. So then the last step is to add up all the areas. 144 plus 96 plus 192, and I have 432, and my label is inches squared. And it's area, so that's why it's inches squared. And again, why we times them all by 2, because there's always a front and a back, an up and a down, a right and a left to that figure. Okay, let's look at one more, and this is also a rectangular prism. So I didn't do the net figure of this time. But you can see the bottom is 9 inches, up and down is 7 inches, and it's 15 inches wide. So again, they're all rectangles, so I'm going to be using base times height for all of these. Doesn't matter which one you start with again. Again, all the areas of all the surfaces. So first I'm going to kind of do the front of the box and the back of the box. So I want to look at the dimensions there. I'm left with 9 times 7 for that. Okay, and again, why I multiply it by 2 is because there's a front and a back, 126 inches squared. So that's what those two rectangles are. So then I can go ahead and do, for example, the right side and the left side of the box. So I look at the dimensions there, 15 times 7. Go ahead and multiply that out on your own. I'm going to multiply it by 2 because there's 2 of them. And the last one, I'm going to multiply or figure out the top and the bottom. And again, if I just look at what numbers I haven't paired up yet, it should be the 9 and the 15. And looking at the pictures, yep, that was it. And then again, we times it by 2 because there are 2 sides. And then my very last step is to add up all the areas. So go ahead and do that. Try 126 plus 210 plus 270. I got 606. My label is inches squared for that. So make sure you get those vocab terms down of what a net figure is. This top one, when it lays it out, that's the net figure. Oops. And also what surface area means. A good term for that is all the areas of all the surfaces. And then you can try a few on your own. Be careful in the practice when you get to number 15. There's 3 different rectangles and 2 different triangles in the picture, and come to class with any questions.